Hello and good morning. Ooh, I need to move the mic over. Hopefully this won't be loud. I usually sit it off to the side for work because I don't need it to be quite as clear there. But over here, I want it right in front of me. All right, let's switch over to main. Oh, this again. Lovely. Come on. Maybe? No? Camera control, focus, turn off autofocus, and we're good to go again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I rebooted the computer, it did all that stuff. Hasn't, I don't know what's causing the camera to like just suddenly decide it doesn't want to focus on me. I don't think it's focusing down here. I suppose I could like find some green paper or whatever, just put over the edge of the desk. But that's all besides the point. Good morning, everyone. Hope that you're having a great day so far. I am looking forward to figuring out, like, continuing to do the refactoring on the life system that we're setting up. So let's take a look at where we are with this. We have 14 errors, 2 warnings. And if we take a look at our README, we're immediately basically creating a life system for the game objects. So if we take a look in here, have we actually created a life system yet? Yeah, so we have. We have a life system, and we have a trait. In our main library, we've brought in life system, which means in game object, we could bring in life system, and then we're storing it as an option box dyn life system. Perfect. So then we're expecting that it's gonna be passed in, and we're just, let's see, storing it right here. Okay, so that's perfect. And that's like the first side, right? Oh, I guess we're passing it into the physics system so it can deal with that. If we were to take a look through the main library and see who's using the life system, we have none for flame sprite, none for sword. Okay, so let's wait, no more errors? That can't be right. Rust analyzer, did you just crash on me? Let's restart that, see if it finds any problems. I could swear we left it with massive errors. Yeah, because we're not creating a life system, I don't believe. Okay, yeah, so when we create, here we go. Here's all these errors. This is what we wanted to see. Okay, so we're gonna start here. This is creating some physics system. Function takes 6 arguments, but 7 were supplied. Right, okay, so if we want to pass in the life system, let's go ahead and not pass in the life system right now. And then we'll update that after we get everything working. This function takes 10 arguments, but 11 were supplied. Okay, so when we create a new game object, I could swear that we made it so that we do take in a life system, right? Oh, we do not. Okay. Oh, no, we do. Life system right here. But you go away. And so that's what we want, is the life system right in the middle here. So The X and a Y, the draw system, the width and height, those are all fine. Then physics system, collidable, chatter, my type, and then the life system. That feels wrong. I don't know why I'm feeling that the order of this isn't correct. Stacking, good morning. Because XY draw system, XY or draw system. Then width, height, physics system. Width, height, physics system. Oh, I did put the life system at the end in game object. Okay, so then we're fine. Oh, and then this one. What is that one? Nothing. Go away. Okay, so that will make you happy. How's your day going so far, Stacking? Alright, so save you. What are you upset about? Okay, so these are out of order here. Like we can see collidable for a flame. Instruction is false. I mean, it's 9 a.m. and if it's gone bad already, you might as well go back to bed. I mean, yes. There's no chatter. My type is an instruction, so game object type, interface. And then the life system is, okay, so then we have none for the life system. That's what it is. I have to pay attention to what we have over here. All right, next up. Sword instructions. We have our X, our Y, our draw system, width and height, physics system. Okay, so this is an instruction too. Collidable is false. Chatter, none. My type is that, and then the life system is just none for right now. Okay, timer block. So this is good. Collidable, you need to be false. Chatter is none. My type is this, and then none. Okay. All right, player. So the player, XY, draw system, size, the physics, collidable, so swap that down here. No chatter. Type goes up there, life system is none, that goes down, okay. Then, all right, so a new flame object. XY, our draw system, with height, physics, collidable becomes true. We have a chatter, which is this. Then we have the type, which is that, and then the life system, which is none. Okay, and this is Swords, when we're creating a sword. XY draw system with height. Physics system, collidable, so you go up here like that. The chatter, you. My type goes there. And life system, you become a none. No method named isAlive found for a reference game object. Right, because now it's going to be off of the life system, isn't it? So we need to rerun that off of the life system. Okay, so hold on. So in game object, we have our life system here, which is an option. We do need an isAlive. We're going to return a Boolean. Okay, so our life system already is going to have an isAlive on it. So if there's a life system, we call that. Otherwise, we return true, right? So if let self dot sum system equals self dot life system, then we're going to call life system dot isAlive and return whatever that is. Otherwise, we're going to return true. We're always alive. Cannot move out of self. I don't want to move you, so let's reference you. All right, no more errors. So that entire thing works. I should be able to actually run the game now. All right, things are looking good. If we drop something like fire 0, now that won't die now. I think that's just going to stay alive forever. And it should be the same thing with a sword like 9. You stay alive forever, but the physics and everything else stay around. Okay, I like that. Okay, so now we need to update, like create the life systems for each one of these specific things. Ooh, that's actually working still. Perfect. Oh, I probably want to refactor that out so that the player life system is inside of the player as opposed to just inside the main library. But let's do these things one at a time. Let's do the flame. Do we want to do the flame? Or do I want to do the player? Let's do flame. I think that might be the easiest. So in life system, do fire. I'm calling it flame fire. Let's use super. I guess you need to be called before you know what this is. All right, so we know that we want to store when the birth time of this is and how long it's going to live. And that's pretty much it. Like we store those. They can sit inside of here because that's all we care about them. So that's going to be or like a birth time, which is an instant. We're gonna have time to live, which is a duration. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so our birth time is going to be an instant now. And our time to live is going to be a duration from sex. We're going to do 6 seconds. I think that's how long we decided that we live. And then in here, we care about is alive. And we're going to return self.birthtime dot is it elapsed? Return the amount of time elapsed since this instant was created. Okay, so if that elapsed, if that is greater than or equal to self.time to live. Oh, is alive. Hold on. Is the opposite. Is less than self.time to live. So if you haven't elapsed that much, then return true. And that's it. That's our life system. What are you upset about? Doesn't implement. Oh, fire life system. Okay, so you have to implement. I use this enough, and I've noticed that now that I'm not using like having RLS in here, I'm getting the it's not auto completing for me. So I want to create a snippet. So where is that? That's here. We're going to name this derive. And then each of these things we get a prefix, body, and description. Prefix is going to be der. Might as well just name it full derive. But I think der should be good enough. Derive. Description. Is it? It's a. Oh, I can't. I can never remember what the official like title of this is. It's not a mac. It's not like a macro. It's a annotation. No. No drive line. Here. And body. All right. So. This is always fun. It's an array. Actually, it doesn't need to be an array, does it? This could be just a simple string. And it's going to be derive. Derive that. Then I want Debug is like the one we use the most. So I want this thing. So $. Is it the number first? It is. Okay, so 1 colon. And then debug. Close. 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 Yeah, that should be it. Save. Okay, so now I can type derive in here. So if we come back to here, we'll go derive, and it just adds it in for me. Perfect. And then I can now change that if I want. All right. No errors, just a few warnings. That's because we're not using this. Let's go back to our main library, find where our fire system is. All we care about, so handle commands, here's fire. So when we create our flame game object, here's our life system. We're gonna do, we need, what? Before we do that, let's do a pub use fire life system. That way in the main library we can use it. And then in here, here's our life system for a fire. Fire life system new. Oh, we need to box it up. Mismatch types expected in enum. Option. Oh, right. Sum box. Okay, that makes you happy. So if we do that, then inside of our game object, our isAlive is just going to then reach into this to check to see if it's working. So the fire life system should now actually work. Like we should see that disappear. So let's test that out. So if we do fire 0, and it disappears. Perfect. All right, so fire has been updated. Next up, we have the sword. The sword or the player? Let's do the sword next. This is gonna be a little bit more complex. All right, so I want pub struct sword life system. What we care about here is like our bounces, the number of bounces, and we're gonna want this to be public so that it can be changed. Maybe not. We can have a method to deal with that. So we want like bounces, which is gonna be a U8. And then we want like a max bounces. So like maybe breaks at, which is in U8. So we track how many times we bounced, and we've tracked, we know when we break. All right, we're gonna start with bounces 0 and then breaks at. We're gonna set this to 7 to begin. We also know that we want to have a public function, bounce, which doesn't return anything. We're just gonna say self.bounces plus equals to 1. All right, so impl, this is gonna be our life system. What? No. For sword life system. Is alive is all we care about here. So we're going to return if self.bounces, if that's less than self.breaks at. That's it. And then there's that entire debug. So we'll add that in there. All right. So now back to our main library. Handle commands. Here's our sword. Here's our life system. So we know that this is a sum. And then inside of that, we're going to have a box. Inside of that, we're going to have the life system. Oh, which means we need to re-export it. Actually, I guess I could just use it and it will figure it out, won't it? Or where was I? Okay, so we give a brand new life system to this. This should not make the sword die. Okay, so the sword is not going to die at all. It's going to keep on living. And that means we have to set the physics mod to take in the life system so that it can bounce. Like it can tell it that it's bouncing for the, you know, for the specific sword physics. So we're going to take in here and a reference. Let's see. Life system is going to be, how do I want to do this? I guess we could do it as the ref, right? But it still has to be an option. So do I do a reference here or an option box dine? Peyton Rules raiding with a party of 2. Welcome, Peyton Rules. How was your stream? And how are you doing? Also, welcome everybody to the stream. We still have a ways to go this morning, so that's awesome. Hello, Lord Mizd. It's gonna be a dyne life system. Bring that in. Hello, Pavan610. So today what we're working on is we're building a chat versus streamer game. It's basically going to be a little arena that I have to avoid things that you could drop around in arena. They're going to bounce around or just hang around and, you know, sit on the floor. We'll see if I can survive 2 minutes against all of you, then I win. Otherwise, you all win. So now I don't have any like rewards set up yet, but sometime in the future we might add that in. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of a refactor here, so I don't have it in a working state. But as soon as we get it there, I'll get it going. Okay, so we're gonna have a life system we're gonna pass in, and I don't remember if I do the reference here or somewhere else. Okay, so now all of these like physics, we now need to have in. I should just copy this line. So fire physics, you get that. Player physics, you get that. Sword physics, you get that. And timer physics. Timer physics, you get that. Oh, and I forgot to... So my new favorite thing is the control dot to auto import whatever the cursor. Oh, nope, that's not it. Control dot to auto import whatever the cursor is on that's not imported. You're not a Rust programmer, but interested in the game. All right, well, as soon as I can, I'll get it going. So in our game object, what are you yelling about now? Right, okay, so now we have to pass in the life system. So we already have that, so it's gonna be a reference to self.life system. So that makes you happy. Ooh, we can run. Okay, so obviously the game is not in the best of working states, but let's go ahead and run it so you can see what it looks like. So this is the basic game. I have that instruction that sort of comes into chat. That's also for lag purposes. In case you're lagged way far behind the stream, you can at least start dropping things even though you can't see it yet. And then I have the instructions, like, so if you do hash fire and then the name of a column, you'll drop this sprite into that column. And the same thing with sword there. And then this is my timer of how long I have to survive. And I can sort of run and jump around, but I can't actually leave the arena. So I can jump over that. The fire lasts for around 6 seconds. And then the sword, we're implementing its life system next, so that it doesn't hang around forever. It's, however, an interesting one. The sword bounces around. Obviously, the game is hopefully going to be really something interesting to be when we get a bunch of people in here, and they all are dropping things at the same time. Then I have a lot more to have to avoid. Is there no limit on interval? Right now, no. Obviously, the interval is based on what Twitch chat puts in. I do want to put an interval in so that I can't be spammed with that. Oh, I got hit. We did put a life system in so that I can have 3 hits. Oh, I got hit again. There, and I died. Guy Funks, you won! with teammates AIDS359 and Pavin610. So that is the game so far. I am also realizing how not great I am at those avoiding lots of things on the screen. So I am working on my own time. I've been playing some games that are like you have lots of things moving around to practice a bit. I figured that that's also a great game to load up as soon as we get raided. So like once we have it fully done, we can have it as a raid game. And I might even be able to share it with some other people if the other streamers want to try it out too. See how long people can last. All right, so anyways, we pass in a reference to the life system. If we now go into sword physics, we should be able to, every time that it bounces, so here it's bouncing on the Y, so bounce true. What am I doing with that? That move bounced, it's false, so I don't need to do anything like that anymore. Okay, bounced. So I don't need you to return anything. We're just gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back to that. Bounced. So instead of here, we're gonna say life system. Oh, you need to be immutable. That's okay. Hold on. So if let some this is going to be a sword life system equals a life system. It's not the right one, and we need this to be like as immutable refs that I can do a sword life system dot bounce like that. No method for reference, right? Because it's a reference to a box. I don't want a reference to a box, do I? I want the actual thing in here. So I want. Can I as ref dot as dref as ref dyn life system, the method name bounce for reference dyn. Oh, because it's the life system, and so it doesn't know what it has in there. Oh, that's a problem. So it won't let me reach in directly either. I would have to add in like a bounce or something like that. Maybe like take up a life. So we probably want to rethink exactly how we want to handle that. Can you suggest me some Rust materials or videos? You're interested after my game, you'll try to make it. Yes, so how much about Rust do you know? Did you say not a Rust programmer, but interested in this game? Okay. So the biggest resource, if you want to get started in Rust, is called the Rust book. We go, oh, I don't have a browser open. So there is, let's see, if you go to rustling.org and you go to learn, I will share this with you. Not a thing, but you're from web dev, not a problem. I'm from, well, I was originally systems administration, then I spent a few years doing web dev too before I came to Rust. So that's perfectly fine. here, let's see, where is the book? No, that's the Rust C book. Read the book. Here it is. This is the book that you want. So I would read through this book first, and then I would probably try like Rustling's course. They get you like going. The learning curve for Rust is famous for being like a little bit tough, and I think that's mostly because it's I don't know, it's a lot different than other languages. So the less you know, the easier it is. Maybe, kind of, possibly. I don't know. Now, if you come to my stream on Sundays, I'm doing a Introduction to Rust course, and I've been creating tutorials and videos and all sorts of that. So you could watch the VOD from Sunday, or you could just show up on Sundays and watch me as I'm recording those live. And then when I'm eventually got them all recorded, I'll like put them on YouTube and make it available for free. But that is not exactly like right away coming out. It's still going to be probably several weeks before I get to that point. I wouldn't even read the whole book. I would start programming after the 6th or 7th chapter. I have to go look at which it is. Oh, yeah. For my recommendation, when you go through the book, for every single, like here, they even have you programming a guessing game here. For every single project that you do with it, I would take that and then make a little micro project based upon that with the same difficulty level, and then see how far you can get on your own, just to see if you can do it. And I find that that's like, for me at least, that's the fastest that I can run. And then show up to my streams and ask any questions. Like if you have any questions about where you're stuck with or anything else, I am happy to answer them. I wish there was a tag on Twitch for like questions allowed, but I didn't see one. Interruptions allowed. Backseat gaming? I don't know, that feels wrong in a programming stream. That'll just be you telling me what to do. AMA, I think. Well, I did put the education tag on, so that way you can like, you know, ask questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Maybe. All right, so we need to figure out how to do this bounce thing. So I only have available to me what is in the trait here for the life system. So we have is alive, and that means we're going to have another one, which is obviously don't want bounce, because this is going to be shared by like the fire life system and the sword life system. So I kind of want like maybe like take up a life. I don't necessarily want a hit, or do I? Because it can hit a wall. So maybe hit would be appropriate. And this can take up a mute self, and then we're not going to return anything. It's just going to record that we're hitting. And so that means, well, obviously now we have to add in hit for these two systems. Hit. This is just not going to be implemented, and that's unfortunate. I wish I could figure out a better way for that. But then so instead of bounce like this, we're going to have hit, and this is where we're going to say self dot bounces plus equals to 1. Now in our sword physics, instead of bounce, we're going to do hit. And now you're going to yell at me that you're not mutable? No, you're fine. And at the end of this, We are returning it okay, aren't we? Method update has an incomplete. Oh, update. For the physics, update is returning that, which is going to break all of you. Okay, so okay, you become happy again. And also, Paven, I am using the game engine GGEZ, which doesn't really provide very much. And I really like that for learning the language. But there's some other game engines that have released recently that that also might be interesting to look at. Bevy is one. Amethyst is a game engine. All three of these game engines have plenty of information out there. And I'm familiar with GGEZ, so I can answer questions about that. But there's other people that can answer questions about. Bevy has is brand new and has a pretty good community already going around it. And Amethyst has been around for a while and has a fairly large community. And everyone in the Rust ecosystem is pretty nice. All right, so cannot borrow this is mutable. It's behind a reference. So we need you as mute, dereference, mute. Now, we can't borrow you because you're not... We need you to be a mute reference. Oh yeah, Godot. They also support Rust, kind of, sort of. Good morning, AIDS. Godot has a plugin that you can use to then change the scripts over. So instead of using whatever Godot language, it's like the Rust language. Mr. Halsey streams a lot in Godot with Rust, and there's also Peyton. Are you doing? If Peyton's still here, yeah, Peyton, you're doing Godot too, right? Godot Rust is a plugin, lets you use it as a replacement for GD script, right? Because you're doing, I can't remember, are you doing, there's a bunch of Rust developers that are using Godot, and I get some of their projects mixed up. Are you doing the Blackjack program? I see your announcement in the Discord sometimes. Just wrapped up a Blackjack game. Now making an iOS game. Oh, nice. I am actually interested in learning how Godot to iOS with Rust works. I'm thinking like eventually, my next game engine I'm gonna try out is gonna be Bevy, and then after that I'm probably gonna try Godot. You all have convinced me. Okay, so what's wrong with you? Method update has an incomplete. Okay, so now we need to go. So because I forgot that you need to be mutable, I need to come back to the mod and tell you, yeah, you're mutable. Which means all of you, we get to change you. Yay. Have I ever worked with Unity? If yes, what are my thoughts on it? So I bought a course to learn Unity, and I think I spent about 5 minutes on it, and then I got distracted, and then I never went back into it, and that was a couple years ago. So the most that I've done with Unity is downloaded the engine, and then that was it. And then after that, I switched over to Linux as my primary driver for a while, and I couldn't do I couldn't do anything with that at all. Now I have I run Mac at work, Windows here for streaming, and Linux for my personal system. I really like the idea of Godot because that would work on all three of the systems if I needed to. But I think it's good. All right, so game objects. Then I need you to be passed in a mutable. Which you're already mutable. Can I just... No, I still need to do that. All right, so then you're happy. So then... Wait, Unity works on all three platforms now as well? Oh, well. But it's huge. Okay, well, that's good to know. So the company I work with is a huge Unity company. We don't make games. We make simulations, specifically like medical training simulations for like heart attacks or people catching on fire in an operating room. Those are the two major VR simulations that our company is doing. I don't program that at all. I'm on the web dev side, but I get to watch on Slack as they all build those things, and they're using Unity, which is working out really well for them. Okay, let's see. Is alive. We have a hit here. We run hit in the sword physics, which means that it should disappear after 7 times, right? Let's try it, because we already have the checking to see if it's alive. Let's see if I drop a sword and we let it bounce 7 times. Sword 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It worked! First try, sort of, kind of. You got me before I realized. But let's see. What major issues would cause you to burst into flame in an OR? Okay, so it's not quite as dramatic as you might imagine. But it happens apparently more than 0 times a year on average. When you're getting like a tracheotomy, they put like a tube down your throat and have pure oxygen, or like a lot of oxygen going into your lungs. And apparently they're also like welding or whatever. They have like this tool, this electric tool right next to it to cut your skin open. That can spark. Like, it has a low chance, but it can spark. And if it does, it can, also low chance, light a little bit of that oxygen on fire. And now you have fire in your lungs coming out. So it's basically a fire out of here. It's, terrible is the word I would use. Maybe horrifying. I am obviously not going to show it. The simulation doesn't have blood or anything else. I did go through it. I saved the patient. It's basically as simple as you think to put it out. You reach over, grab a glass of saline, and just dump it over the fire, and that's enough. Who doesn't want to breathe fire? But like it has a fatality of much higher than we would want. Like, but that's because you generally don't train on it. Like, doctors don't get a chance to train on that situation. So VR allows you to train on it in a safe place, sort of like a flight simulator allows you to train on some situations that you literally can't get in the real world without destroying the plane. Who doesn't want to breathe fire? A lot of people don't. Okay, so we have bounced. This is all working. You can picture freezing up in a situation, so you can't blame them. Exactly. And doctors do a lot of training historically by just telling each other, this is what I'm gonna do. And then they just like read a book and say, okay, I'm ready to go about it. Obviously, it's very different than that surgeon simulator. We don't do the actual VR surgery part with like the knife. We don't let them have hands for the most part. A lot of it is like voice, like where they're leading a team and telling them, okay, you're doing this, you do this, and you have to be calm and say what you do. Does the simulation train you how to explain the events to the patient and family? So that's a really good question. And no, it does not. We have not done that at all. And I don't know if that's how much that's being requested by hospitals either. Hold up this scalpel now, put up these VR goggles and swipe you like you would if be in surgery. It'll be fine. You joke about that, but eventually that's where we're gonna go. Is we're gonna say like, here's an actual scalpel, probably like remove the tip. Here's a scalpel that has the right weight, and you put a sensor on it, and it becomes your controller. And then put like, don't even have a dummy, just have an empty table, but you can use a combination of VR and AR to have your full simulation. The future of like what we can go with VR and AR is going to be amazing. All right, so we now have the sword going away, the fire goes away, player is next. So this is going to be the interesting thing. However, we already have that entire hit thing, don't we? Wouldn't that be explosive too? Are you talking about the like the pure oxygen and the fire? I don't think that there's been any explosions. It's usually a small, like they're not pumping you full of oxygen that much. It's a small trickle. You don't need that much to survive. Okay. So here we have, let's see. If we're colliding with a game object, we hit the player. So really what I want to do in this case is also extract out our life system and then hit that. So inside of here, we can do another if let some player life. Oh, we don't have a player life system. Hold on. I need to create one before I start doing that. Let's create the player life system. Mod. Okay, so we're gonna do pub struct player life system. Okay, so we have like the number of times that we've been hit. Or we can just do lives, right? We can have lives, which is U8. And if we reach 0, we're dead. Okay, so let's do that first. That would be a pretty simple one, right? So impl player life system. Player life system. We're gonna have lives, and we're gonna set you to 3. But we're also going to import a life system for player life system. And we have two things here. We have is alive, and inside of here, we're just going to check to see return lives. Self.lives is greater than 0. And then we also have hit. And when we get hit, we're going to say self.lives minus equals to 1. All right. What are you upset about? Oh, right. The debug. Every time. Debug. I forgot to give the type here. Player life system. Okay, so that makes us happy over here. Let's now go into the main library. And we want to find... How did I realized that I'm... No, not like that. I thought you would... Oh, that makes it look weird. I thought it'd keep its aspect ratio. I think that looks a little bit more normal. That's actually what I see. Let me know if that looks terrible, and I'll tweak it a little bit more. Okay, so then when we create a new player, we need to drop in its player life system. So let me fold everything. So import game state. It's in the new. Create the player. Oh, you know what? Before we do this, hub use player life system, player life system. Oh, I guess I could just use it. Okay, so player, here's our player life system. So this is going to be a sum, and then a box, and then our player life system. Like that. Okay, so that gives us a player life system. We can now go to our player physics. We have our life system here. Here's when we get hit. So then we can do if let sum player life system equals this is gonna be self.life, no, just life system dot as deref mute. Okay, so now we have this mutable player life system, and we can just tell you to get hit. There you go, you got hit. Which means that the game should, well, I should disappear and end at the end of that. So that's going to be interesting. How do I want to deal with that? Mir Klemp, good morning, hello. Let's see, I get hit. That will make me disappear. So if I play this as it is, I don't think the game is going to end. So if I do like a fire 4 right over me. Yeah, I'm gone. Oh, okay, hold on. So I got hit 3 times in a row. Like 3 frames in a row. It took up all my lives. So I need to implement the iframes now. Now what we're doing right here is at the top we have lives left and damage cooldown. Damage cooldown. We set that to 0, and every single frame. Okay, every single frame we hit the damage cooldown. So if I want to implement like a cooldown it for like iframes, I need to come to the mod system and we need to add in another tick here. And this is basically going to be like an iframe. I think that's all that we're going to really care about. So now if we go fix these, so you don't have. Okay, so fire life system, we don't have iframes. We don't care about that. So instead, we're going to, let's see, we still need to pull this in, but essentially we're going to ignore it for you. All right, player life system, however, we want a damage cooldown, or maybe like iframes left. I want this to be a U8. Iframes left, we're going to set you to be 0 to begin with, so I'm vulnerable. Okay, so then iframe, so then if self.iframes left, if that's greater than 0, I want to self.iframes left minus equals to 1. So spend an iframe. You know what? I realized this shouldn't be an iframe. This should be an update. I should make this be an update. That would make it a lot more sense. So instead of iframe, I can make you update. Which of course, all those nice things I just did for that update. There. All right, you are update. But you are okay. Gonna, if we have iframes left, reduce it. When I get hit, reduce. Okay, so if self.iframes left, if that's equal to 0. Then go ahead and reduce my lives by 1, and then also self.iframes left, set this equal to like, we're at 60 frames per second, so I could do 120 is I get 2 seconds. I get 2 full seconds of reprieve And then every single frame, we tick that down again. That way, I can only be hit so many times. Then update needs to be run for the player life system. Nobody else really needs to care about that right now. So, but we should run this inside of the game object. In update here, so we have the physics system update, we have the draw system update. We're also now going to update the life system. Just like that. So that will now tick that down. So I should now be able to survive more than one hit. Let's try it. So if I do fire 1. Yeah, I can pass through them and then die. Okay, perfect. Excellent. So the entire thing is working now. We've now set it up so that we have different ways that things could sort of die and go away from. So I like that. That's really that's a nice refactor. One of the things I really like about Rust is how easy it is to refactor stuff. And easy is maybe not the right word. How I can actually refactor things without just going insane. Because the type system and the borrow checker is really helpful. So if we take a look at our README, we now have a life system for game objects. We have a player life system, we have a fire life system, and a sword life system. Is alive is now unique per object. Swords disappear after 7 bounces. Create a command data struct. Oh, okay. I remember what this is for. Since you've corrected other streams, you feel like you have to correct my use of refactor. Okay, give it to me. I love learning new things. So how did I use it wrong? Create command data struct. So if we go in, refactor is only when you have tests. What you're doing is a rewrite. Oh, I'm doing a micro rewrite. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that there was that subtle distinction between refactor and rewrite. So if I had tests, like automated tests, then it would have been a refactor. Okay, so create a command data struct. What do I mean here? So if we come over to our command here, the book definition is without changing behavior. Since you broke things by definition, you didn't do a refactor. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So yes, I didn't do any refactor. I did do a rewrite because I changed how behavior. Yeah, without test, you can't prove you didn't change the state of the output, which means it's not a refactor. Oh, that's good to know. I will do my best to change that terminology. I do have a habit of using that, so it might take a little bit of time, but thank you so much for letting me know. That I like being more correct in learning things. That's that most people use them interchangeably. Yeah. Even outside of like programming type stuff, I could see that. All right, so here we have a command. This chatter pub enum command. Right, so we have like a fire, which is this ID and chatter, which means then I need to grab this information out of here, I think. No, because that's an option. You got really yelled at one time during code review by a mentor, so that one is always stuck with me. Oh no, that's terrible. Yelling should never be a thing at work. It's actually one of our interview questions, is when is it acceptable to raise your voice in a work environment? And you'd be surprised the number of people who fail that question. Which is why we're always going to ask it. I think we've even gotten someone when somebody is disagreeing with you and you know you're right. That's when it's appropriate to raise your voice. It's like, thank you. We would not like you to be part of our culture. So I think this is what I want to do. I want to change this so that we have an actual struct for this. Now it's still fine. So when I implement command, when somebody's about to be hit by a car, we do get people with like those type of like glib answers, but that usually comes after thinking about it for a while. So that's fine. When people are like, I think the most interesting one was somebody said, when you've been stuck for like 4 hours and you finally figure out what it is, you stand up and shout, yes, I got it. And we're like, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Yelling in celebration is okay. Here in the Northeast US, we just like to speak with passion, as we call it. Except when that becomes yelling at people, because you disagree with them. Then I don't agree with that. Building is on fire. That's another one that's okay. Yeah. Person is very, very far away. I mean, we have phones now, right? We can just call them. The weekly in-house concert. Like when you're in a football game and you're a player and you need to shout a command, over the cheering fans. The weekly in-house concert. Well, there are none of those anymore, right? Because everybody's working remote in Silicon Valley now. So how do I want to do this? How do I want to refactor our command? I would need a type for like a sword, right? If I was to do this, if I was to have essentially a hub struct command, I would need a type. So I would want to change this to a command type. Which means command type. And then I would want an ID, which is U8, and a chatter, which is a chatter. Oh, right. Type is reserved, so my type is what I usually use. So impl command So we're gonna take in my type, which is a command type, an ID, which is a U8, and a chatter, which is a chatter. And we're going to return a new command, which is going to give us, okay, it's a command, my type, ID, chatter. Duplicate definitions with the name new. Right, because I have implement command on here. So this entire block is going to change. Steve No Scope. Why does my motorcycle keep falling asleep? Because it's too tired. I love it. That's a great one. Okay. Command type with that. So then you essentially would be the command type, but that's only to keep you from erroring out right now. I would want you to the command type. You're essentially just fire and sword now. Oh, I'm gonna figure this out based upon this. Okay. However, I am gonna have to do this work next time. So I'm gonna put in a big, huge error in here. Wait, do I have an error already? I kind of do. I have all these, I have 7 errors. Because it doesn't know like the type that's happening. Yeah, I've got to go to work, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I get to go to work. That's the right thing. So this is my. What can I do? Can I do that? That'll be an error. Will that show up right away? Yeah, that'll show up right away. So that'll be at the top of the list. So I'm going to close all these windows up. Let's open up Git Kraken and send this code on up to GitHub. So we end up doing a lot today. We didn't refactor at all. We rewrote the life system so that everything can die in its own way. I'm going to go ahead and push that up. I have links to this at Bang Repo. It's that first link, so get the streamer game. And you're welcome. It's fully open source. You can go take a look at that, download it, get it running. It does, I don't have like a setup guides for that yet, unfortunately. But that we'll be getting there in the end. Eventually. Let's go ahead and see who is streaming. Take a look at the Rust team. Mr. Halsey is streaming Rust content, and Mr. Halsey just started a short break. But theoretically, that means that Mr. Halsey is going to be continuing on for a while. I don't see anybody else who's streaming on the Rust team. If any of you have a suggestion for who to raid, let me know and I'll add it into our list. But before you go, what do you think about Bevy Engine? With all of those, I have to always like think out loud like what they always mean. What do I think about Bevy Engine? So I did one. I spent a couple hours looking at it on a stream a couple Fridays ago. I like it. I do think that it's a great engine, and I think that it's going to go places. I really like their ECS system with it. It makes a lot of sense. And I was able to get things onto the screen working really easily. That being said, their documentation still has a little bit to go, but it's also an early beta product. So I'm not too terribly surprised about that. My next project, so after I'm finished with this one, my next project that is a graphical project, so probably a game, will be using Bevy. So follow me if you want to eventually find out about that. You can also follow me on Twitter, and I'll definitely tweet out when that project eventually starts. But I'm thinking it's going to go places, and I really like where it's going so far. All right, so let's set up a raid for Mr. Halsey. Do that. You can do that over here, right? Raid Mr. Halsey. All right, so that's setting that up. And all right, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm doing these streams before I go to work every single weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time for about an hour and a half, till around this time. And on Fridays, I work on, I basically do an exploration, sort of like look through different code bases. Right now, we're exploring WebAssembly and sort of like learning how that works. And Sundays is Tutorial Sunday, where in the morning, I for about like 3-4 hours, I basically create tutorials, answer questions, which is Introduction to Rust for beginners. And then of course, these weekdays, like Monday through Thursday, that's working on this game right now until that's done. Anyways, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. All right, bye.